Hello everyone, my name is Jack. In today's video I want to make a little bit of a rant on why I believe that gaming in North America is dead. I'm going to cover a various amount of points in this video, and for the rage typers already ready to go, let me just explain that this is my own opinion. I am not stating this factually or anything. This is just my observation from somebody who's been playing video games for a long time. First thing I want to address is why does this bother me so much? Well, I've been playing video games for around, I'd say, 5 years on PC, and modern gaming has just become an absolute cesspit of bad players thinking that they're good, companies not caring about their games anymore, and it's just a complete 180 from what I'm used to. Okay, so back in the day of gaming, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking like between 2015 to 2020. That is what I consider to be prime gaming. If you weren't around back then, you have no idea what you're missing. So back in the day, there were no quote unquote blue ribbons in gaming. And what I mean by that is if you wanted to get good at a game, if you wanted to learn a game and improve at a game, you had to play the game and more specifically lose at the game. I'm going to be referencing Fortnite for most of this video just because that's the game that I pretty much played the most, and I was an OG Fortnite player, I would say. I started playing in Season 4, OG Chapter 1, Season 4. My first initial games of Fortnite were not good. They were bad. I mean, I would get destroyed repeatedly. There were no tutorials, there were no guides, there was no playground mode, there was no practice mode. It was just, you hopped in, you learned how to build through trial and error. If you played Minecraft back then, same thing. You had to figure out how to craft things on your own, or any, game back then. Nowadays, with modern gaming, everything is, there's a guide for everything, there's a tutorial for everything, which I think is fine. But the learning curve has kind of been cut, and the game companies try their hardest to make it so that you don't really have to learn how to play the game, or you don't really have to learn how to improve at the game, because they make the games now so easy and rigged that these players who are not good at these games are suddenly have a chance, right? And what I mean by that and what I'm referring to is basically aim assist. See, aim assist with Fortnite back then wasn't as overpowered as it is now. I mean, it's always existed, of course, but nowadays with modern aim assist, it's basically an aimbot. Any kid on a controller is a laser beam, specifically in Apex Legends as well, and that is a fact. You can check all of the pros are now playing Apex Legends on controller. They're all switching off from mouse and keyboard to controller because why would you play on mouse and keyboard when you can just have a literal aimbot aim for you? And again, this is all to cut the skill ceiling, cut the learning curve so that bad players who back in the day would get destroyed now feel like they're good and special at the game. And the main game that is the definition of this is Counter-Strike 2, okay? I played CSGO late. I played in 2021, so I definitely was on OG CSGO player. But anyone who's played CSGO for an extended amount of time understands that that game required a ton of dedication to learn the mechanics and to improve at the mechanics. There were core mechanics that you had to follow in order to be good at the game. So for example, you couldn't run and shoot. You had to stay in place. You had to learn how to counter strafe. You had to learn recoil control. All of the guns had specific recoil patterns. And if you didn't learn those patterns, guess what? You weren't going to aim and you were going to get shit on. Another game where you had to spend time and actually learn and improve at the game. And the reason why this is so important is because in any sport or any video game, there needs to be a skill ceiling. There needs to be a separation between horrible players that are brand new to the game and have no idea what they're doing, and experienced players who have put in the time and effort to get good at said game. So when CS2 came along, Valve decided, you know what? We're going to completely scrap all of the mechanics basically from CSGO. We're going to make it look like the same thing and play like the same thing, kind of, but we're going to give bad players an advantage. And let me explain what that advantage is. There's countless of examples of people running and shooting in CS2 accurately. There's countless examples of horrible FPS and frame drops. There's countless examples of players hitting headshots and the headshots not registering. I've had many examples of me shooting somebody with an AK in the head, which in CSGO was an instant kill. In CS2, it's not an instant kill, right? And this is not me whining or crying about me being bad at CS2. A lot of players who are good at CSGO are bad at CS2 now because Yet again, it's designed for bad players to excel at. It's designed for bad players who were terrible in CSGO to now suddenly feel like they're special. And why are companies doing this? Why are companies lowering the skill ceilings? It's this simple: skins, monetary value. Okay? They don't need players to have skill ceilings or there to be separation. All they need is for bad players to play their game and buy skins. Now, it's ironic to me because most of the time, if you're somebody who's good at a game, you're going to buy more skins than somebody who's bad at a game. But I think Epic Games and Fortnite kind of changed that narrative, because you see it all the time how like little kids are playing these games on consoles or whatever, and they're absolutely terrible. But the aim assist will kick in, or the skill-based matchmaking will kick in, and then they'll feel good, and then they'll get a win, and then suddenly they're going to get their mom's credit card and buy skins. CS2 is kind of the same way. You can be an absolute terrible CS2 player, brand new beginner, and I guarantee you, if you just buy an SMG the entire time and run around shooting people, you're going to get kills. Now, skins are extremely expensive in CS2, so I don't think that it's as applicable to that game as it is more towards like Fortnite or Apex Legends, but the point still remains the same. And these companies are making bank off of skins. They're making bank off of, yet again, bad players, because they know that the good players aren't really going to buy as many skins as the bad players are. And let me just explain and be clear that it's perfectly fine to be bad at a video game. I'm not saying that everybody needs to try their ass off to win at games. You know, bad players are a good part of gaming. The reason why I'm complaining about it's the catering. It's the catering towards bad players and diluting games and making games more noob friendly in order for them to like buy skins and to keep playing their games. And we've seen this with Call of Duty with like skill-based matchmaking and engagement optimized matchmaking with Apex Legends, where 1 minute you'll be in a server of absolutely terrible players, and the next minute you'll be in a server of complete sweats. This shit did not exist back in the day. It simply didn't happen. It was a random every time. If you played Fortnite, if you played Rocket League, if you played any game, it was completely random skilled players across every single game. But nowadays, look at Fortnite with bots. Literal AI is in Fortnite now. I mean, what is going on as a society in North America? Are we seriously this weak-willed and weak-minded that we need literal AI in a video game just for kids to feel like they're special, to feel like they're good? It's pathetic. It's a joke. So this is Faceit. This is a third-party platform where players use to go pro in Counter-Strike. I'm currently recording this at 7:31 p.m. At 7:31 at night in North America, there are 128 players playing Faceit right now. That's it. Across the entire United States, 128 players. Oh, but no, the game's totally not dead. No, absolutely not. Let's go to Splitgate. Splitgate 2. This game just released like a few days ago. 12,000 players in game right now. 12,000 across the entire country. These numbers are terrible. They're horrible. And there's a repeated pattern of, if you try to play these games nowadays, you're going to be in servers where you're playing against the same opponents. You're on the same team as an opponent, or you're on the same team as a teammate who was a shitter. You're constantly with the same players in North American lobbies. This is just play your games and see for yourself, because there aren't any new players coming into these games. That's the irony of all of this. We live in a country where, because of TikTok and because of instant gratification and dopamine, players are just not interested in gaming anymore at a higher tier level. They play these games for like 10 days and they quit, and then they're on to the next thing. And then Shroud promotes it. All the streamers promote the new game. People play it for like a day and then they quit. Look at Battlefront 2. Remember how all this past week you've got video after video after video saying Battlefront 2 is back, Battlefront 2 is returning. Oh, everyone's playing Battlefront 2 now. And guess what? All those players who played for like a few days, they're gone. Bye-bye. See ya. Splitgate 2, brand new game. Oh, we have all the hype now. They're all gone now. See ya. Because people in this country don't care about improving at games anymore. Gaming has gone completely backwards. And I think a reason for that is because there are no new titles. Everything is incredibly like oversaturated. It's all the same IPs. Fortnite has been around for years. Apex has been around for years. These games have been around for too long. There's no like new genre or anything to like, I don't know, like change the gaming sphere. And everything has already been like, established. So players are quitting. The good players are quitting because they're like, okay, I don't want to keep losing to these noobs, getting the game catered towards them. That's why I quit CS2. I couldn't stand losing to players who I know would get absolutely destroyed in CSGO. It's like, and you can say that I'm coping. You can say that I'm crying about all this or whatever. That's perfectly fine. I don't really care, okay? For those of you who know, you know. I mean, you can't miss what you never had. If you've never played CSGO, you can't miss it. If you've never played OG Fortnite, you can't miss it. And that's the problem. These kids nowadays, they don't know what they're missing. They don't know the golden days of gaming, and those days are gone now forever. If you think that we're ever going to go back to a time where SBMM does not exist, and aim assist does not exist, and cheaters don't exist, and wall hackers don't exist, good luck, okay? And yes, I know that there were cheaters in CSGO, but compare the cheaters of CSGO to CS2, and it's night and day. It's night and day. Which just goes to show you why gaming sucks now, and why gaming is dead now. Because weak men have taken over in this country. We've seen it in our government. I'm not going to get into too many details about that because I don't want this video to become political. But gaming is just weak now. It's soft. It's embarrassing. That's why you have players cheating with wall hacks in games, and they're all in pre-mades, and they're all in pre-stacked queues and pre-made teams, which were not a thing back in the day. Solo queuing was very popular back in the day, but now everyone's in a team, everyone's in a pre-made. People are cheating in pre-mades. Do you want to know why? It's because people in this country can't stand losing anymore. Their egos are so fragile now, where everybody gets a blue ribbon, everybody gets a pat on the back, everybody says, yes, Timmy, you're great at the game. No, Timmy, you're not good at the game. You're shit because you just started playing. How can you have an ego and expect to be good at a game you just started playing? Like, that's insane. You need to be humble. People need to be humble. They need to realize that, like, in order to improve at anything in life, you're going to be bad. That's perfectly fine. Why are we teaching the youth and our next generations that it's okay to be a loser? Or that it's okay to, like, you know, not want to improve at something, and everything has to be handed, you know, for them. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say. Sorry, I know this video is a complete rant, but this needs to be said. And if I'm the only one who's saying it, then I'll be the only one who's saying it. I don't really care. I just hope that a lot of people can watch this video. I'm sure there are a lot of people that agree with me. And I honestly don't know what it's going to take for gaming in North America to improve or to be fixed. It's a mind shift change. It's a mentality change. Men need to become stronger. People need to stop being offended by everything. Like, Riot Games banned pros for teabagging in a game. They literally banned or suspended pros for teabagging. Is this the world we live in now, where you can't even teabag in a competitive match? Seriously? And that's why there's verbal abuse bans and chat bans and restrictions. Gaming is just becoming so censored and soft, and it just makes me sick to my stomach, man. It's not like what it was, and that is a major problem. So if you agree with me, please consider liking and subscribing. Channel is very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.